free. Here without the fun, where we playeth nothing but chance, and more chance. This are not thine elder matriarch station.
Hello everyone, hello. How is everyone doing on this beautiful Friday night? I hope you're staying warm. I understand a lot of the US is getting absolutely hammered by some incredibly cold weather. So if that's you, I hope you stay nice and warm. I believe that's a lot of the East Coast and Midwest. It's getting a lot of it from what I could see from the few weather forecasts that I checked. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying warm. I hope this will be a safe weekend for you. Apparently Ted Cruz has left for the coast, which oftentimes is apparently a sign that it's not going to be fun. So, not getting politics into this. It's just I'm hearing what I've said. I also saw a TikTok that someone in the South said that their Waffle House is closing. Their Waffle House is closed. That's not a great sign. Waffle House Index is a thing. Wherever you are, I hope you have a safe beginning to the weekend and a safe conclusion to your weekend. It's going to be pretty mild here in the Portland area, so I'm not too worried about it. But we'll see. We often get hit by true winter weather deeper into January and February. It's usually when we get slammed. So we've still got plenty of time to have a fairly intense winter. For us, anyway. I'm just going to keep on working on our Golden Demon project here. We're going to work on this one. We may end up working on another. And there's also a possible other project. I am waiting for some sprues of tactical Space Marines to arrive. They were supposed to be here today, but they have not yet arrived, and it is after 6 at this point. But going to be doing some kit bashing to make a Firstborn Lieutenant in Mark 8 power armor. That will be the last of the Firstborn power armors that I need to make a lieutenant out of. So I'm fairly excited about that. Hopefully that'll arrive today. Or if it doesn't, that's alright. It's not the end of the world. But in the meantime, we'll keep on working on our Votan robot fellow here. Try to get him as neat and tidy for Golden Demon as possible. For those of you who may not know what Golden Demon is kind of the premier painting competition for put on by Games Workshop at their tournaments and at the the events that they do. The only Golden Demon in the U.S. is at Adepticon in March. So we've still got time, but refining for Golden Demon takes a huge amount of time too. So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't make it, don't get everything done, 'cause it's a lot. We're talking dozens of hours, possibly hundreds of hours of refining tiny little bits of the paint job and trying to improve things just a little bit more, make things a little bit more perfect. So it is a slog. If you've been doing any painting or anything, I hope that's been going well. I'd love to see or hear what you've been working on. I really enjoy hearing and seeing what other people work on. If you're over on the Purple app, we are link friendly. If otherwise, you can, if you're on one of the other platforms, you can pop into our Discord and put what you've been working on if you want to show it off. It is absolutely not necessary. Just telling us what you're working on would be awesome as well. But if you just want to hang out and not really talk, that is also just fine. I want this to be a nice, relaxing place for people to just maybe spend some time and relax. Listen to some grandfather clocks or some people turning pages. Maybe pull yourself up a book wherever you are and just have some white noise in the background. Whatever's going to work best for you. Hey, Captain Toad, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for dropping by. Doing good. Freezing, bracing for the supposed 6 to 9 inches. Nice. Of snow we're supposed to get tonight. Yeah, I hope you stay nice and warm. And you stay, most of all, I hope you stay safe. I remember a few years ago when Texas had that massive cold snap, that massive winter storm. A friend of mine, or somebody someone I know, she ended up having to camp out on her bed underneath basically a tent of blankets with her two dogs, and they basically couldn't leave because there was no heat or anything. They almost froze. If they hadn't have done that, they would have frozen to death. So like for some people out there, it is this type of a cold slam is really serious. So stay safe. sitting here in Texas looking at possibly using my smoker. I'm hoping that my work does the right thing, closes tomorrow. I hope so. I hope that you guys are safe and the work isn't going to be so reckless as to force you to try and come in. Are you talking about using your smoker for heat or just using your smoker to smoke up something? Because it's not too bad for you. If it's not too bad, that's great. Yeah, up here in the Pacific Northwest, we're not getting anything, especially in the I-5 corridor. We've got the Cascade Mountains on one side, and we're all in a big valley. Can you see the front? Sure, Tim. This is his head. He is not a biological Votan. He is an Ironkin. So he is, he's one of the Votan's AI citizens. And I did the conversion because this model is called Wrath of the Ancestors, and it only comes with biological heads, like space dwarf heads. And I wanted to switch him out to an Ironkin because the Votan believe that the Ironkin are just as much Votan, just as much part of their society as biologicals are. So I wanted to reflect that in this. I haven't painted the. It's just going to be non-metallic metal because they've just got kind of a dome, like a metallic dome here. You can look at other Votan Ironkin models and they've just got a metallic dome. So I'm just going to do non-metallic metal there. And so it's something that's going to be worked on. There's still dozens of hours to put into this for Golden Demon. It's glorious out. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yumi and the kids. Appreciate that. Wizard of War. I just bought my first patrol pack. Space Wolves and Black Templars. Very nice. Oh, you're a big Warhammer fan, Tim? That's awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty. I think the Votan are pretty cool, pretty interesting. Just like everybody else in Warhammer, they're not good people, but they're interesting for certain. Yeah, if you can just wholeheartedly say, yeah, we're just gonna take over a planet and just mine it into existence, regardless of what the population wants, because we want the minerals, and we don't recognize things like, I don't know, property rights or anything like that. Yeah, you're not a great person. Don't think you can claim to be good. And the Votan are like that. Although the Votan are probably less malevolent than everybody else, but not by much. Have I played Space Marine 2? I have Space Marine 2. I haven't played it yet. I played Space Marine 1. And I really enjoyed that. I have not yet played Space Marine 2 just because of time. I did. Do I still have him out here? No. I did paint Titus. I had a model of Titus from Space Marine 1, and we painted him up. He's on my Instagram. That was a lot of fun. We painted him on stream. He was really cool. I just have to go. All right. Well, have a wonderful rest of your day. trying to make the highlight on the top of the shoulder pad a little wider, so it's not as narrow. The narrower the highlight, the more it's going to look like the surface is very, very shiny. I want the surface to look a little shiny, but I don't want it to be like glossy or even, metallic shiny. I want it to be just a little shiny, and therefore I need the highlight to be a little bit more diffuse and less concentrated. Because that concentrated highlight, that narrow highlight with a fast transition, that tricks our eyes into thinking something looks reflective. So I'm trying to make the highlight a little bit wider, and so it doesn't look as concentrated, and therefore it will look it'll look less shiny in the end. I still want it to have some shine to it, obviously, but I don't want it to look like it's like glossy or anything like that. So we're widening that highlight a bit. And I did get some feedback. Oh, let's see. How do you make a rock base? I want to make some for my Dragon Ball Z figures. Okay, so what I did was I went on, when it comes to this whole thing, I went to Amazon. I bought some pine blocks, and then I bought some slate rocks. And I glued those down onto the top here. And you could do this on just like a flat base too. You could glue slate, or you could glue chunks of bark. Excuse me. You could do bark as well, but I used actual slate because I wanted the weight. And then I filled in the gaps between the slate with two-part epoxy sculpt, which is a sculpting medium. It's a two-part sculpting epoxy, and then when that completely dried, I took an X-Acto blade and I chipped away at the putty to make it have the same type of layered texture as the slate. And then once that was all done, then I hit it with primer, and then I painted it. But yeah, there's just a combination of stuff here. It's mostly slate rock, actual slate rock, super glue, and epoxy putty, epoxy sculpt. And then the paint, there's actual paint here, but then there's also dry pigment to give that dusty look. So you live a few weeks ago, you gave me a lot of great tips. I appreciate all your help. Hey, you're very welcome, Alex. No problem. I'm glad I was able to help. I hope things have been going well, and maybe you've been able to apply some of those tips. Let's see. I have some Votan I used the box color for. What scheme are you using? It's whatever scheme I want. It's just I decided I wanted to do Votan, and I said I really like turquoise, so I'm going with turquoise, and then gold non-metallic metal. That's about it. I mean, gray for some of the weapon housings and stuff, but I'm using the jade triad from Monument. So bright jade, and then dark jade, and then in order to get brighter than bright jade, I'm mixing in small amounts of pale yellow to get a even brighter highlight. And then I'm using old P3 coal black from P3, and I'm using that as a darker than jade. So I've got 5 colors there for the armor. Then there's just a lot of mixing back and forth, and a lot of slow work. This year I've probably put 10 hours of work into them. Last year when I first painted him, I probably put in 20 or 30, so we're looking at like 30 to 40 hours right now of just slow work. And then that is not something you have to do for regular painting. Don't think you need to do that for regular painting miniatures. I am painting for Golden Demon, which is Golden Demon is this isn't terribly accurate, but it's the easiest way to put Golden Demon is the Olympic gold medal of miniature painting, especially when it comes to Warhammer. It is like competing at the Olympics. It is the most competitive Warhammer painting competition. There are other painting competitions that are more artistic and have a wider range of types of models that you can submit. Golden Demon, you can only put in Warhammer stuff. You cannot put anything else in, and so it is very specific to Warhammer. And I'm doing this because I want to. Because I want to try. I want to keep trying. But I don't paint to this level for everything that I do by any means. This is a crazy, impractical level of painting to do for every miniature you do out there, unless you're doing this for a living and painting box art for companies. Which I do not do. But I do enjoy taking my time on some of these and just sitting here and painting to the best of my ability. It feels good to stretch. It feels good to try something new. But it's also just practically not something you can do for every model. It's just not a practical thing to do. My current Warhammer project is AdMax, which is causing me to go from moving fast to taking my time. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking your time. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong going fast. It's really up to like what is the purpose? What's your goal? What need are you fulfilling with these models? Do you have like a tournament coming up and so you have to go fast, or you just want to sit there and take your time and try to improve? All of them. There's multiple ways to approach each painting project. I've definitely rush painted some stuff because I had a game coming up or some other deadline, and then I've definitely sat down and just taken my time. There's different type of entertainment in both. Is anybody working on anything tonight? Are you hanging out and doing any painting while you're here with me in the Great Library of Magic? Hanging out in my study, listening to the fire, surrounded by the ambiance of the Great Library, all the students studying and staff putting things back on the shelves, and the roaring fires crackling, and grandfather clocks aplenty. Nice, relaxing environment, hopefully. It is for me. I was wondering if the goat was going to stream tonight. Hey, Jakey, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm gonna try and be more consistent. I don't always have the spoons to stream. I don't always have the emotional energy to do it. So being an introvert, a pretty strong introvert, sometimes you're just like, I don't want to people. So I'm going to continue to try and be more consistent with my streaming schedule. But there is always the possibility that I will not be streaming. But I normally do, though I want to fix that. I want to be better at that. Totally get you. Happy Friday. Super cold today. Yeah. I've been hearing that it's been pretty darn chilly for a lot of people across the U.S. I hope you're able to stay warm. It's not much of an issue here in the Pacific Northwest. We're kind of protected by a warmer jet stream coming over us. That's how we tend to be fairly temperate in the winters, especially here in the valley. But I know the rest of the U.S. or certain parts of the U.S. are getting real cold real quick. It was colder in my area than it was in parts of Alaska. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I know there are parts of Alaska that get colder than the North Pole does. And parts of Alaska are also getting close to the North Pole, but yeah, it's the Earth plays host to a lot of crazy cold habitats, and humans have, for some reason, figured out how to live in most of them, except underwater that we know of. Haven't quite cracked that at a permanent settlement basis that we're aware of. But everywhere else, you're gonna find some people. You're gonna find a couple humans living there. It's real weird. cold in Chicago right now. Black Magic Tabletop. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's where you are, Jakey? Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys are right off the lake. It's a lot of cold weather come through there. Yeah, a little freshwater lake, freshwater sea.
You have a magical disease called attention deficit disorder.
Yes.
You're a very unique wizard.
Oh, thank you.
Unfortunately, will not make you suitable for the Muggle world.
No, I have noticed that.
They expect you to show up on time and remember small details.
Really hate that.
Sometimes I know that's a struggle.
It is. It is. I'd be nowhere without my calendar. Showing up on time is totally overrated. You can tell I'm not a vet. Because showing up on time is overrated. Mad McGrath, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. My Game of Thrones fan? I mean, yeah, I watched up until the last couple of seasons of the main show. With a friend of mine, we watched House of Dragons, and we're waiting for the next season of that to come out. Not sure if I'm going to be watching any of the other shows, like the Knight show, the one that's like about that aspiring knight. That looks interesting. I'm not sure what I feel about like the humor of it. I don't know how I feel about that. Generally, I am down for some humorous storytelling, but I don't know how well it fits within that world. But hey, I'm not gonna, I'll give it a shot. Not sure when I'm gonna watch a lot of them, just because I just started watching Star Trek again. I'm trying to finish Discovery. I'm enjoying Starfleet Academy. Despite all the naysayers, I'm having a good time with it. And Discovery, I've just finished season 2 of that. I'm into season 3 now. Got 2 more seasons there. You're surprised by the level of humor? Yeah, exactly. Oh, is it the Night show? Is it the show about the Night? Is that the new show that just dropped? Hey, Dig Batty, how are you doing? Good to see you. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, I knew that was coming out soon. How is it? I mean, you said it was humorous, but curious how the rest of it is. Has anybody else been watching any of the new Game of Thrones stuff, or any of the new Star Trek? Any of the new Treks? I am still enjoying Discovery. The first season was obviously pretty rough, but most Star Trek shows have a pretty rough first season. I think Discovery had a harder one, but I've been enjoying it since. Now that I'm catching up, I was watching it week to week, but then I wasn't able to keep that up. Miss Dig and I are waiting for a few more episodes of the Game of Thrones series before I start watching it. Yeah, I hear ya. Weekly release, I think only the first one is out. Slow first episode, so we'll see how the next one is. I think it's going to be my one season. I think it's only going to be one season from what I heard. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I am waiting for Fallout Season 2 to completely finish. And then I'm going to sit down and binge that. I think probably at the end of this month, or when I get back from a work trip at the end of the month. I'm going to sit down and binge Season 2. Because that's what I did with Season 1. I ended up watching the entirety of Season 1 of the Fallout show in one sitting, which was great. I kind of want to do that with Season 2. But I also both enjoying the slow torture of weekly releases when it comes to Starfleet Academy. It's kind of like drip feeding it, and I'm just feeling it's giving me time to intersperse it with things like Discovery and other Star Trek shows that kind of fill in some of the gaps between what I was watching and what has happened. Sorry, I'm angling this up to the light to make sure I'm not missing some of the bins. Hey, Parker, how are you doing? You've been watching week by week? Gotcha. Parker, how are you doing? Hey, Ferric, how are you? Loved the Fallout show? Yeah, I loved Season 1. I'm very much looking forward to sitting down and watching all of Season 2 all at once. I keep hearing really good things about it. Season 1 was, I think, probably the best video game centered show that they've ever done. Anybody's really ever done. It's the best like interpretation of a video game into a show. Because in the first Fallout, they kept all this absolute silliness. The dark humor, because Fallout's full of just dark humor, and it's just kind of like that's its thing. It's one of its big things. It's just the ridiculousness, and they did a really good job of keeping that, but also having an interesting story, and then just interspersing the dark humor with just like, oh my god, what the hell was that? Of like how insanely dark that world is. I've been on a zombie kick lately myself. Watched all the 28X Later movies. Nice. Haven't seen the Bone Temple yet. I hear Bone Temple is really good. Watching the Korean zombie show that takes place during the feudal times, Kingdom. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Kingdom. Kingdom's pretty good. I'm chilling, man. Trying to figure out how I'm going to paint my Harlequin Shadow Seer. Nice. Your squad is looking great so far. I've watched Kingdom 2. Yeah, Kingdom's really good. And thank you. I'm glad you think he's looking good. I gotta try to get him to look the best he can for Golden Demon. The best that I can make him. And as part of, as I push myself to try and make him look better, I become a better painter. So, I don't think I'm going to win a Golden Demon by any means. I think maybe I might be able to get finalist or something, but I'm also not doing a lot of freehand on him yet or anything, so I don't know. What I really want is just to get the same thing I got last year, which was a notable pin. If I get a notable pin again this year, that means I've maintained and I just haven't improved to the point of been able to get him to the point of going higher. Now, one thing is, I don't think this model's capable of getting a Golden Demon. I don't think it's got the conversion work put into it. I don't think it's got enough of a story. I don't think it's going to be really hard to tell some kind of compelling story with this model. So I don't think this model's ever going to get Golden Demon. I don't think it's capable of it with the way that I built it. But I'm going to try. Train to Busan, I keep meaning to watch that. I do need to watch that. I keep hearing that's really, really good. My son and his friends went and saw Bone Temple. He said it was amazing. It was just one big WTF after another. Loved that movie as well. Nice. Yeah, I've heard good things about Bone Temple for certain. Sometimes I'll get on a zombie kick, and then other times I'll quickly fall out of a zombie kick because I'm just not much into horror or suspense in general. So like I'll be on a zombie kick for a little bit, and I'll eventually just be like, yeah, I'm tired of being stressed out all the time, because those types of movies, those types of shows, like actively stress me out. I don't find them exciting or relaxing. I mean, exciting to a certain extent, but certainly not relaxing by any means. And I don't always want to just be completely stressed out when I'm watching a show, you know? I want to be invested in the characters and be worried about them for certain, but I don't want to be terrified all the time. Am weak for not wanting to be like that all the time, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. So 9 out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10. Nice. Zombie kick, then I'll go fantasy or just comedy for a little. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's how I am with anime too. Like I'll be watching like a super serious anime and for a while, and then either I'll just get to a place where I'm done watching it for now, or like I'm waiting for the next season to come out or something, and then I'll switch from something like, I don't know, Solo Leveling, or if I was rewatching Samurai Champloo or something like that, I'd leave from there and I'd go watch like Slime Rancher, or that time I was reincarnated as a slime. Something low impact, some nice happy little isekai with this little dude who's just like, oh, this is my new life and everything's fine. Oh, this isn't good. Well, let's go ahead and resolve this pretty quickly because I'm a Mary Sue and it's not that big a deal. And I was just like, okay, it was low impact. I can relax. I'll switch out between those even in anime. So, some of the advice I've been getting from some of the painters that I've been talking to is go even brighter with the highlights. So we're gonna try and do that. We're gonna try and push the highlights a little bit farther, but I want to try and get most of the highlights around the model to the same level where they are right now, and a lot of them aren't quite there yet. I don't need all of them to be at that level, just the ones that kind of make sense towards the top of the miniature. So we're gonna keep refining. We're gonna keep refining the highlights up that way, and then go even brighter. The issue is the brighter we go, the harder it's gonna be to prevent this the armor from looking like it's like super reflective and like shiny. So we're gonna have to figure out, we're gonna have to have some pretty delicate transitions and gradients to keep the highlights from looking overly sharp and therefore reflective. My guilty pleasures is car restoration shows. I love car restoration and car mechanic shows. I don't work on cars. I don't really want to work on cars. But restoration shows in general, and especially where like we're restoring a car, or we're building a new like muscle car or rad rod or something. I love those shows. They're wonderful. It's also why I watch tool and art restoration videos on YouTube. Although the tool restoration videos, most of them are fake now. And set up with fake scenarios. So I haven't watched as many of those. But like Bumgardner Restoration, who brings in big paintings. There's a paper restoration company that specializes in like movie posters and stuff. Love watching their stuff. I can't remember the name right off the top of my head, but I love watching their stuff. Do I have any favorite miniature painters on YouTube? Sure. I get caught up in This Old House sometime. Oh, that's real. Absolutely real Cook Crafter. That's what I used to watch that all the time. So my favorite, the miniature painters that I usually watch on YouTube, the ones that I try to make sure I don't miss, is and this isn't because they are incredibly high level painters or anything like that necessarily. It's more the way they explain what they're doing makes more sense to me and helps me process what I'm watching. So Miniac, Ninjon, Vince Venturella, Zoomitico, Metal AF. Let's see. Richard Gray. Painting Cujo. Who else? For like the people that like, because there are lots of people that make great videos that I very much enjoy watching. I don't necessarily try to watch all of them, but and a lot of them aren't educational. They're not, trying to teach something. They're more video essays about what they're doing, which is and why they're doing it, and what keeps them motivated. And those are good. People like that are Black Magic Craft. He also has great tutorials. But Trent Holbrook, otherwise known as Miscast, Caffeinated Miniatures, eBay Miniature Rescue, Goobertown Hobbies. Yeah, a lot of people. I like Eons of Battle too. I don't watch a lot of his stuff because it's either focused on the game, which I don't play the game, or it tends to be, hey, I've got a painting shot. It's like Squid Mars stuff. I painted this 2,000 points in 24 hours, or here are my thoughts on the new the new army, or here's a challenge I've set myself. And I don't find those. I don't enjoy watching those generally. I have watched some of Jay's stuff. Eons of Battle. He's a good presenter, a good talker. Their videos just aren't always for me. And I mean, I cannot bring myself to watch battle reports ever. Like there's just nothing about battle reports that I want to watch. Love Caffeinated Miniatures and Black Magic Craft is Canadian. No, they're both awesome. They're both great. Yeah, I've tried watching battle reports. I just can't. I can't do it. Yeah, I should probably put up a list, either in my Discord or something like that, of like my favorite YouTube, my favorite miniature YouTubers and TikTokers and why. just so that I can point people like, hey, you want some cool people to watch? Go check out the Discord. Find this channel, and you'll see a list with links to their stuff and why I like them. I should probably put some time into doing that. All right, we got ads starting up here in about 5 minutes. How about y'all? Do you have any favorite YouTubers that I didn't mention, or that I did mention? If you have any favorite TikTokers or YouTubers or Instagram folk that you try to always, more often than not, you do catch their stuff and you try to make that a priority. I'd be interested to hear who y'all are watching, if anybody. And if you're not, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that either. A lot of times people just don't get anything out of watching YouTube videos. It's just because it doesn't fit with their learning style. And that's okay. The Dork Depot, nice, yeah. And Twitch here as well. So I know Dork Depot is here on Twitch as well. Yeah, Dork Depot's good people. His Space Wolf conversions are wonderful. He does a really good job with those. Let's see. Now, one thing I want to try and work in here is a little bit of bounce reflection of the orange in the armor. Now, here's my issue. Here's the issue with this. Is it needs to be fairly subtle, but I want it to be obvious what's happening. However, realistically, orange light bouncing off of teal armor should create like a muddy green light reflection, because it's orange light bouncing off right here and it's getting absorbed. Well, wait a minute. What bounces off? So orange light comes off. It bounces onto teal armor. Teal absorbs everything except for teal, which is blues and yellows. So the only thing that should be coming off is yellows out of the orange, because the red's not going to come off of it. So yeah, the light that bounces off is going to be maybe some blue, but there's no blue in the orange. It's going to be yellow. It would be some form of yellow light, most likely a really deep, dirty yellow. So the reflections of the light coming off of the ground off this teal would be like a weird yellow reflection, which sounds ugly as fuck. That sounds awful. So do I go in here and still put in orange and then just say, you know what, forget reality, I want some orange to bounce off of here, and maybe it'll make the armor look a little bit more glossy because it's coming off of like a mirrored finish? Or do I try and go in with that like deep yellow greenish type of hue? Because that's going to be like, not mustard yellow, but more like an olive yellow, which I don't know if that's going to read right. Like, where's this yellow light coming from? Oh, it's coming out of the orange. Library. And then I don't know if that's going to make sense. We got 1 minute before ads start. We will make sure to set everything down. No one's going to miss anything. We're going to take that 3 to 5 minute break. Use that time to hydrate, use the bathroom, walk around a little bit. So I'll let you know when the ads are starting, and then we're going to put ourselves into a be right back screen. Let's see. I watched the first like 5 minutes to see their armies, and I click out. Gotcha. I just started watching this guy called Dusk Till Dawn, which I've heard of Dusk Till Dawn. I don't think I've watched a ton of their stuff, but I swear I've heard that. I swear I've heard of that. Is that on YouTube or is that somewhere else? All right, everybody, you got 10 seconds before ads start. YouTube? Okay. Gotta drop, it's nearly bedtime. Just want to jump in for bed. Hey, thanks, Code Crafter. I really appreciate you being here. All right, ads are starting. We're gonna go ahead and go into our Be Right Back screen. And we'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. We're back. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Wait, Nathan Brakefield. So I thought it was a battle master at first. What are we talking about? Are we talking about a battle tech? Are we talking about battle tech? I don't know if I have a battle master painted up. Got some battle mechs painted up. Got some Wolf's Dragoons painted. I don't think I have a Battlemaster painted. Do I have a Battlemaster model? Battlemaster. I might. It looks a lot like a griffin. I mean, it's got a square box. Let me see. What the cat? Yeah, I don't have a Battlemaster painted up. I don't have a Griffin painted up. Yeah. Wait. I've got a... Oh, that Battlemaster doesn't look anything like a Griffin. What am I talking about? Here's my Griffin. Focus! Yeah, Battlemaster's much bigger, and it's got more of like a helicopter canopy. It's got like a canopy that looks like it's got two people. It's also got like the weapons in the chest in addition to the missile launcher, but the missile launcher's on the other side. Oh, we thought what I was painting looks like a Battlemaster. I gotcha. I can see that. He's got a bit of that profile. But this is a Leagues of Votan model, so this is from Warhammer 40,000. Yeah. Sorry for my confusion there. That's my bad. The first glance at the angle you're at. No, I totally get you. No worries. Okay, so we're gonna use some really thin glazes here of some dark skin type colors. Going to right down in here, and we're just going to add in some reddish notes here to show the light bouncing up off the ground and into the armor. So it's just showing this a very little bit. We're not going too crazy with it at all. We're going to have it here on the inside of the leg too. Basically where the shadow is, that's where this bounce light's going to be the most, just because of the way that, like, if the light's bouncing off of the sun and that's creating the highlights, or if the lights from the sun is bouncing off and creating the highlights, that's going to overpower most of the leftover light bouncing up off the ground. Both from the same surface, but it's going to be a little less intense, so it'll be overwhelmed pretty easily by the light from the sun. So we'll just come in here and we'll work in some of this orange, this dark orange here into a couple of these shadows down at the bottom, just to add a little bit of additional color and visual interest. I don't know if anyone will ever actually notice this, especially on the back, where people in the case is a golden demon. No one's gonna see the back of this mini. anything to add a little bit more visual interest in here. Maybe a little treat for the person who gets to see this up close and really pays attention, is looking for it. I want to be able to reward that person as well. That, like, yes, there is light from the ground bouncing up into the armor. Yeah, I love both too. Like, BattleTech was my first tabletop miniatures game. I think BattleTech is awesome. But Warhammer is the one that got its claws into me the most. I don't play Warhammer very much anymore. I do plan on picking up BattleTech in the next campaign that my store runs. So I'll be playing it there. I'm looking forward to that. That's why I'm painting up my Wolf's Dragoons. Is I wanna run them as, or something like them, for the in the campaign. But who knows? We'll see if they fit. If they don't fit, I've got other mechs that I can paint. I did pick up the BattleTech Gothic minis and the box set for, if nothing else, I want to paint them up as like either pirates or Solaris 7. Like Solaris 7 gladiators. I think the Gothic minis would do awesome for Solaris 7 and pirates. I think they look amazing, and that was kind of the idea for me. Although the Gothic setting seems interesting, I don't know a whole lot about it. But I like the whole idea of these alternate universes that they're doing. I think that's a really cool idea. I still play BattleTech. I was playing it when LucasArts sued for calling them battle droids. Oh, you still do 2035? Nice. Yeah, 2035 is super solid, you know, original timeline. I like working into the clan stuff as well, just because Wolf's Dragoons have always been my favorite, and seeing them actually bring out their power is pretty cool. But Wolf's Dragoons have been in the Inner Sphere for a very long time, so they can fit in just about almost any one of the successor wars. Especially if it involves Karita. Elementals broke the game. I never got to play with Elementals, so I have no wisdom when it comes to that. So was it mechanically that they broke the game? And what about Inner Sphere power armor? Has that since we're now in the like much later than the initial invasion? Any idea if the Inner Sphere power armors fixed that at all? I honestly don't know. But I could see how something as maneuverable and dangerous as an elemental could absolutely upset a lot of the game's balance. I can see that for certain. Five little dudes that could take a PPC and keep going. Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason Inner Sphere were terrified of them during the initial invasion. They thought they were aliens. It's just like, what do you mean they're taking a PPC hit? What do you mean I didn't wipe out the entire squad of them? all of a sudden you have this giant, angry, semi-humanoid frog-looking set of armor looking at you, smacking its head on your cockpit windshield while it's trying to burn its way through your windshield into you with a small laser attached to its arm. Yeah, that's terrifying, especially if there's a bunch of them. I gotcha. No, I totally get that. I use battle armor, infantry, and other combined elementals. Arms elementals aren't that bad. Most of the people's issue is that they aren't mechs. I gotcha. I haven't done a whole lot of combined arms with BattleTech. It's mostly been mech on mech. I did some combined arms at a convention here in Portland, 3D Roleplay Con, and that was interesting. I had an urban mech and an ocelot, I think it was, and a tank. Yeah, Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in the Portland, Oregon area. There's a decent number of BattleTech stuff up here, and retro gaming in general. Am I going to GameStorm? Unfortunately, GameStorm is usually the same time as Adepticon, and I teach painting classes at Adepticon. So I have not been able to go to GameStorm in over 15 years, I think. Which sucks. I really want to go to GameStorm. Are you gonna go to GameStorm? Let's see. March. Ooh, wait a minute. Wait. March 19th and 22nd. Adepticon. Maybe the days are different enough. Adepticon key dates. Adepticon is immediately after GameStorm. Oh, I could go to GameStorm this year. Oh, you're the dealer liaison at GameStorm. Oh, that's cool. Oh, GameStorm's the 19th to 22nd. Adepticon is the 25th to 29th. I believe I'm flying out on the 24th. Yeah. Oh, it's the weekend before Adepticon. Oh my god. Well, that's exciting. I may have to go to GameStorm. Events, February 15th. Oh. Well, if that's going to be the case, then I might even be able to do classes there in the future. That would be cool. Well, in this way, I don't have to choose between GameStorm and Adepticon if they're not, because they for the longest time they were overlapping one another, and so I couldn't. And Adepticon is a convention I go to every year. That is a miniature specific convention that I take classes at and I teach at now, and that's where all my Twitch buddies and YouTube buddies, and that's where all of them are there. But now I don't necessarily have to choose between them. That's exciting. Felix says, I've fought for the FRR since 1999, a regular bring combined arms. When people ask why I don't bring just mechs, because we're poor and we can't. That makes sense. That makes absolute sense. Very cool. How's the dealer room at GameStorm now, Nathan? Is it because again, the last time I was there, What year was the last time I was there? Oh God, it was at least 10 years ago. And they were just really starting to get some vendors, but there wasn't a whole lot. But I imagine that it has either stayed the same or expanded since then. I have no idea how big it is now. 25 applicants for 30 booths. That's fantastic. That's certainly bigger than the when I was there by quite a bit. That's awesome. Do you guys do any miniature related stuff? Do you have any kind of like hobby classes or even cosplay classes, anything like that? Are there any classes in addition to like panels, things like that? What does that look like? So I remember going and having a ton of fun playing the board game library and testing and doing stuff like that, but there wasn't a whole lot for like miniature painting or anything like that back when I did it. The creation station, okay. Every year I have to run. Every year I have had to turn people away. That's awesome. Nice. I'm not sure. Not sure about classes. I'm usually busy with the deal hard. Oh yeah, no, I totally understand. I totally understand. It'd be something worth investigating. There's no way I'd be able to do classes this year. No. So way too short a notice. Not even sure if I have all the miniatures I need for Origins, which means I have to talk to sponsors and stuff like that and get those provided. Sure. Go ahead. Yeah. Is that Angel who used to run Guardian Games? If either way, yeah, feel free to send me. I just sent you a follow on TikTok. So yes, you should be able to send me the contact information either on TikTok, or you could send it to me on Instagram, or you could send it to me in Discord, because there's a link to the Discord in my LinkedIn on my profile. Any one of those is okay. Yeah, any one of those is acceptable. Whatever works for you. Yeah, no worries. Hey, good night, Wizard. Thanks for the stream. Hey, no worries, Mad McGruff. Thanks for being here. All right, sorry everybody got distracted there. I was pretty excited to hear about GameStorm. Okay, then you can send it to me later. Or I can ping you. I think I can ping you. Since you followed me back, we should be able to message back and forth. Let me Let me wave. Okay. So I just sent you a wave in the TikTok messaging system, so we can. So that should be at the top of your messages later. I don't think you can. I don't think you can see them now. So if you're watching, but we can get that information later. Just as long as we've got a way to contact, which we do now. Cool beans. That's exciting. There's a couple from my church who go to GameStorm every year too, so I'll be able to tell them I'm going. That'll be exciting. What is your background in color? Are you just self-taught? I am self-taught. I have never been a horribly artistic person. I've always been a little creative, but just in a very anemic way. So all of this is self-taught learning, color theory, reading a lot of books on color, but then also looking at a lot of art. Something that's helped me a great deal is looking at movie posters, finding some artists that I really like who do like fantasy and sci-fi art, and looking at what colors they use. This type of color scheme, you will see this in movie posters all the time. Orange and teal, or orange and turquoise, you're going to see that in movie posters everywhere. It will be hard to not see it. So this is a very compelling and very effective color scheme. You got to bail. Have an amazing night, and thank you for sharing. Hey, thanks, Nathan. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thanks for being here, and thanks for telling me about reminding me to check it on GameStorm. I appreciate that. It's a lot of, watching. I've watched YouTube videos. It really depends on your learning style and like how you learn best. There's a bunch of different ways to get this information, especially about color theory and things like that. I've watched lots of videos on it. I've read books. Do you have any? No, I don't have anything, because I started painting back about 26 years ago. And in between then and now, that's all gone. That I lost all that, unfortunately. But it wasn't great. Very simple. The first miniature that I painted was a Space Marine, a Monopo Space Marine. I painted him white, with red lines, like red trim, and gold rivets. And then when I bought my own Space Marines, I painted them glossy yellow with blue trim. And I could put down a decent base coat, but a decent base coat just means the solid color. No highlighting, no shadowing. I didn't do any of that. So it was just a solid color and a solid couple of colors, and that was good. That was fine, because I was learning. That's great. Like the most basic paint job that you can do that will look complete is base coats, which just means solid colors, and then give it a wash. Like use some washes on it to that's a particular type of product that Games Workshop and other paint companies make that just quickly outlines details and things like that, and then you're done. Wash, highlight, or wash, base coat, wash, and then maybe come back in and redo some of the base coats to clean up some of the wash. But that's the most basic paint job that you can do that will mostly look complete and done. But this is well beyond that. So there's this model, which I've spent a lot of time working on. Let's say a wizard would like to renew their membership. What's a good example of a straightforward paint job? So here's a paint job that I did spend some time on, but nowhere near the amount of time. Back for an instance that your Discord friend goes, oh, awesome. Thanks, Nathan. So here is a Space Marine that I did that has a little bit of time put into it, but nowhere near the amount of time that I put into this. And you can see some of the difference there, right? This guy is the shadows and the highlights are brighter. The shadows are darker. The details are more defined. Everything on this miniature, this one right here that I'm shaking, the Votan, looks more refined and more, I guess, in focus than this miniature. This miniature's got everything done. It's got some highlighting done, things like that, but it is obviously nowhere near as refined, and not as much work has been put into it. But both of them by themselves, they both look awesome. But when you compare, you can see the difference. I don't know if that helps. But when I started painting, I didn't even do that. Like, it was just all solid coats. Hey, Voodoo Turtle, how are you doing? Unexpected Painting, how are you? Good to see you. You have my does that help, Joy of Pandas? Does that help at all? I don't know if that's what you were shooting for or not. I'm sorry I don't have a better example of like what I did before. Hi. What are you up to, Unexpected? Thanks for being here. What are you up to? How's your night going? Are you in one of the places getting slammed by all the cold weather? If so, I hope you're staying warm. That goes for everybody. If you're one of the areas that's getting absolutely schmammered by the weather, I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're being safe. I hope this is going to be a warm, safe weekend for you. I know it might not be for everybody. Yes, I'm just getting into building, and I picked Space Wolves. Might be taking on more than I can handle because of the small details. Yeah, don't worry about the small details. Don't worry about the thing to focus on. Okay, so here's some tips. Okay, some tips on when you're assembling the model. First, when you're taking the parts off of the sprue, right? Clean them up, get rid of their mold lines, use the back of your hobby blade to here's a good example. Anyway, use the back of your hobby blade to scrape the mold lines off the piece. That just helps clean it up. Use the sharp side to get rid of any bumps or anything that shouldn't be there. And then when you are when you're assembling the model, dry fit the pieces together first without any glue. Make sure you understand how they go together, and that they're fitting together well. You can just do this one piece at a time. Just make sure that they're dry fitting together, that there's not going to be any gaps where they touch or anything like that. And then if there are gaps, figure out what's causing that gap, and clean up what you need to clean up to do that. That will help you be a lot more confident when you're building the model, because you're starting out with a cleaner, more complete process. If there are big giant gaps in your model, no amount of paint is going to cover those up. So whatever you can do to help minimize those and improve your assembly is going to pay off and make your final paint job look a lot better. So don't assembly is not the most fun thing for most people, but don't skip. Don't kill yourself on it either. Like, you want this to be fun and enjoyable and cathartic, but there's some skill and some practice to be done. And then once you've got the model assembled, when you start painting it, paint from the inside out. Find the parts of the model that are closest to the inside, and then paint that, and then go out and out and out and out from the inside out. So, like, if I was painting this sage again, right? I'd paint his hands because they're bare. I'd paint his skin because that's the most inner portion, right? And then I'd paint his hair, and then I'd paint his shirt, and then I'd paint his robe, and then I'd paint the stuff just outside of his robe, and then I'd paint his furs, and then I'd paint like his jewelry, and then I'd paint his weapon. I'd work from the inside out in the same order that he's getting dressed in. That's usually the best way to paint your model, because if you paint, like, say I paint all the robe and I painted his hair, and now I'm going to paint his eyes, or I'm going to paint his skin. Well, if I mess up on his skin, it's going to get on the hair, and I've already completed the hair, right? So it'd be better for me to do the skin first, and then if I mess up and get on the hair, that's fine because I haven't painted the hair yet. So I do the skin, and then I can go to the hair. And then from the hair, I can go the next few levels out. So precisely what it means to. It's Kronos. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in, everybody. Thank you. How was your raid? What'd you work on? We're just talking about some tips for when we start painting. And then paint the big stuff first. The details should all be painted last. And they can, you can just take your time with those. So don't worry about all the little details. Don't worry about getting those there. Paint the big stuff. Get that stuff resolved. You'll have some wins. You'll feel better about the paint job. Feel better about the process because you'll have some practice in, and then you can go into those tiny little details. So don't try and bite off the entire, don't eat the entire steak at once. Finished my Eldar, then I was going to put the Marine that I was working on today in the Discord and saw you were streaming, so I waited over. Awesome! Well, thank you. I'm glad. How was the Eldar? We're still working on our Golden Demon entry, this Votan model. This Wrath of the Ancients model. So we're still working on that. I also just found out that one of the local conventions that I haven't been able to go to in years is happening the weekend before Adepticon rather than the same weekend as Adepticon. So I can go to this local convention for the first time in like 10 years that I'm aware of, which makes me very happy. So I haven't been able to go to that convention in a long time. Like I said, like at least 10 years. So I used to go before I started going to Adepticon. So I'm all excited about that. Messed up with some of the detailing. It's so small, but then I started doing things on the Marine that I was surprised of. Oh, nice. That teal is sick, dude. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the information. Much appreciated. Yeah, you're very welcome, The Joy. You're very welcome, The Joy of Pandas. I hope you have a fun time with your Space Wolves. If you have any questions, feel free to jump into my Discord and you can ask there. There's also tons of other awesome people on TikTok that are live a lot who you can ask questions of as well. We've got a really, really cool miniature painting community on TikTok. So you will absolutely find some wonderful people to help you out. And of course, you're always welcome to ask me as well. Got me a box of Space Wolf Terminators. Nice. The Space Wolves have got, they're pretty drippy. They're pretty drippy. Now I say that grudgingly as an original, like, my original army for 40k was Thousand Suns back in 5th edition when it was all just Chaos Space Marines and the Thousand Suns didn't have their own codex. So like I'm old school 5th edition Thousand Suns, and the Space Wolves will forever be my in-lore enemy army, but I fully admit they are drippy AF. The Vulcan Fenrica. I used to have a Blood Angels army. My Dreadnought was my favorite. Was it a Furioso Dreadnought? Furioso Dreadnoughts are crazy. It's like, look at me. I'm a Dreadnought with giant power lightning claws on my giant power fists. I'm going to windmill my way through your entire army. Oh yes, I do get more attacks every time I kill something. Blood Angels are also very drippy, although I don't think they're quite as drippy as the Thousand Suns or the Space Wolves, but they are pretty drippy. I think they're a little bit. They feel more understated, not by a ton. I mean, they've got some awesome, like, iconography and stuff. They just don't feel quite as I don't know, they don't quite have the same kind of, like, extravagance that the Space Wolves do, or the level of detail to their unique power armor and fetishes and things like that the Space Wolves do. Space Wolves seem like uniquely dripped out with custom stuff amongst even Dark Angels and Black Templars. No, unfortunately not. That's alright. Those are still pretty cool. I haven't started highlighting yet, but I plan but I plan to on this bad boy. I wanted to go to Adepticon because it's close, but man, it's so expensive. Yeah, I understand that. It's Chronos, but I mean, how close is it? Like, there are people who just like take day trips there. But if it's like, if you're gonna have to spend the night in a hotel or something, yeah, it's gonna be a lot more expensive. Maybe you can get some people to go with you. Hour and a half. That's a day trip. So I imagine, are you down like Chicago way? Or are you coming in from a different direction? But yeah, getting hotels now might be a little difficult. Closer to Milwaukee? Gotcha. Well, I hope that you're at least able to come in for like a day. That would be awesome. It's expensive now, yeah. You're paying $800 for your room? Is that with roommates or without roommates, Jay? Solo Bolo. Oh man, look at you getting all up there. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got raw dog in the whole cost. I get you. Yeah, I've got 2 roommates, so we'll be splitting it up that way. Possibly 3 roommates. Kind of depends on what happens with a couple other people, whether or not they found rooms or not. But I'm also flying in from Portland, so my airline travel's a lot more expensive. Although I got a pretty decent deal this time. I've already got my airline ticket. I bought that as early as I could to try and minimize cost. So I'm ready to go there, but now I need to buy the plane ticket for Origins. I'm not going to Gen Con, so I don't have to worry about that. Because that is insanely expensive. Oh my god. I was at an Airbnb, which was super cute. I was at an Airbnb last Adepticon about 5 miles away from the con, and it was between $1,200 and $1,400 while I was there. And then the flight on top of that. And, oh, that was expensive. Gen Con's expensive, man. Going to Adepticon Disney this year, that's enough. I need to save money. No, I totally understand. 100%. Yeah, the only reason I can go to multiple conventions generally is because I'm able to teach. I teach classes. If I wasn't teaching classes at some of these, I would only be going to like Adepticon, and that'd be it. It is expensive. Well, we'll definitely have to run into one another at Adepticon, Jay. Make sure to say hi, see how you're doing. Did you end up getting into Judgment? Did my bad influence take hold? Can't wait to see y'all there. I got the Shatterpoint Championship Friday and hopefully Saturday. Nice. Thursday, I'm trying to get into the painting class. Nice, nice. I'd love to. It's the week of my birthday, so I kind of feel like I need to. I totally understand that, is Kronos. 100%. That'll be... If I see you there, I'll try to remember to wish you happy birthday. Yeah, I bought Judgment, so I need to get a few models. Yes, my bad influence. The thing is, I got you into I influenced you towards Judgment, and I don't even play Judgment. I am a poor influence on people, apparently. Sold all your 40K, so some cash. Oh, I get you. I get you. All right, we're gonna set this aside. So I've got something I need to look into. I want to try here. So. So I have a lieutenant of almost every mark of Space Marine armor from 2 all the way to 10, except for Mark 8. I do not have a Space Marine lieutenant built out of Mark 8 armor yet. Because there's no like just straight up unaltered Mark 8 Space Marine armor, except for what's in the Death Watch veteran box. So I have that. The problem is all the chest pieces, which are Mark 8 chest pieces, so they've got the hidden power cables, and they've got the extra plate here on the abs, and they've got the big gorget here. This is Mark 8. The problem is they've all got inquisitorial symbols, and they've got these slots for grenades and things like that, which is not what I want on a that's not what I want on a lieutenant. I don't want him to look like that. I want him to look like a straight up lieutenant. So I'm going to be using bits from this kit and a Space Marine tactical kit that I just picked up, because that has a regular Mark 8 chest piece in it. And I just took delivery of this. Of some original, or at least the last version of this. They're still available, but they're not usually in stores anymore, because they're all being replaced by Primaris Space Marines. But some original Firstborn tactical Space Marines. Put that down here. Let's see. No chest piece there. Not there. Okay, they're all here. Now, where is that Mark 8 that's on the cover and I've seen? There it is. Right here. Mark 8. It's got the gorget. It's got the internal cables. It's got the ab piece there. Good. Good. We're in good shape here. So is there another one, or is it that's the only one? I think that's the only one. So that's good. So I've got the front and back of a torso for a Mark 8. And so I'm going to clip the front off here. And then I believe all the backs are the same. So I'm going to grab this back here. And I will dry fit these to make sure that they fit together properly. Now the next thing is, did they give us a Mark 8 helmet? I need to double check so I remember what that looks like. I think this is a partial Mark 8, but I could be wrong. And I don't even know if they've made a plastic Mark 8 helmet. Mark 8 Errant Space Marine helmet. Not Space Marine 2. There's a whole lot of people on the internet talking about getting it for Space Marine 2. Not a cosplay helmet. Space Marine 2, you're making my job of researching actual plastic harder. Stop it. Okay, do we have pictures? That's a metal Mark 8. That's not very accurate anymore. Is there other sources of what the plastic kit should look like? Or what the helmet should look like? I don't think they ever made a Mark 8 plastic helmet. Even with the Death Watch. What is the... Okay, so the space... Yeah, I've never seen this helmet in plastic. If it matches what's in Space Marine 2, I've never seen this particular helmet in plastic. I'm not sure if this helmet exists in plastic, which is unfortunate, because I wonder, I may have to get someone to 3D print. I may have to find an STL of this helmet and have someone 3D print it in order to get it accurate. But I can get the rest of the body together, I think. Okay, sorry I got distracted there. I have some researching to do to see if I can find an STL for this particular mark of helmet. And if I can't, I'm just gonna have to make a decision about what kind of compromise I'm gonna make, or if I'm gonna do some scratch building. Okay, so we got all that. Now, what about the helmets on here? Are these? Yeah, these are Mark 8 helmets here. Okay, I might be able to use one of these. You see here? Felix. Oh, hey, Felix. Yes. Oh, you lost your old account. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. I remember the Felix name, yes. I'm not sure what else I remember, but I remember the Felix name. So, this is a mark. Where to go? This is a Mark 8 helmet here. Do you see how the cheek pieces are these slots? They're these vents. Whereas with Mark 7, you've got tubes of various types. Now this is almost a partial Mark 8, but it's not full. But these you've got either double or single tubes, or you've got like, or you've just got protrusions there. These Death Watch helmets are all Mark 8, so I'll probably take one of these and use that for the Mark 8 for the Marine, for the Lieutenant. Yeah, Death Watch kit to the rescue. Okay, cool. I think the only thing I needed off of the Tactical Marine for this Lieutenant, there's other stuff I need off of this kit, so it's not going to waste. But the only thing I really needed out of that tactical kit was the torso. What chapter are these going to be? They are going to be Rainbow Warriors. I am building one lieutenant in every mark of Space Marine armor that we have access to. So we've got our Primaris. Got our Primaris Mark 10 armor. So we've got this lieutenant with his power weapon. And then make sure I'm not missing in them. And then here I've completed the Mark II Space Marine Lieutenant in Mark II power armor. And the other ones are mostly in progress, but Mark 4, 5, Mark 3. So we got the Mark II, then we've got the Mark III, and so he's just been base coated and primed. We've got to actually start painting him. So we've got our Mark III Lieutenant, and then we've got our Mark IV Lieutenant. He's basically done. He's just got a couple things left to do. And then we've got a Mark V Lieutenant. Now, this is a hybrid metal and plastic kit because the Games Workshop has not, and I don't think they're going to. They never made a plastic Mark V armor. So I had to get a metal Mark V, which is an older Mark V, so he's a little shorter. But I used Heresy arms and weapons on him and gave him an appropriate backpack. So Mark V here, and he's just base coated. And then I'm working on the final bits for our Mark VI Lieutenant. And then did I leave him in here? I've got a Mark VII Lieutenant. Where did he go? Here we got Mark VII Lieutenant. He's just primed. I haven't hit him with the black base coat yet because he hasn't had his Rainbow Warrior symbol put on his shoulder yet. And now we're assembling, or trying to assemble, and convert and assemble a Mark VIII. Mark VIII Lieutenant. And ads have started, so we're going to go ahead and stop here for right now. We'll be back in just a few minutes. I don't want anybody to miss anything else. We've been in ads for about 40 seconds at this point because I got distracted, and that's my fault. But we'll be back here in just a few minutes. You're working on a Chaos Lord Iron Warrior tomorrow? Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Alright. Alright, we will be back. Okay, we are back. Thank y'all for your patience. There. Hope everyone's doing well. We're going to keep working on this lieutenant conversion just as a break from the Golden Demon project, which we've been working on for a little bit. People who have just come in, here is the piece we're working on for Golden Demon at the moment. This is the Leagues of Votan Wrath of the Ancestors model. And we're just working on refining everything here and trying to make it more and more legible, more and more readable. There's still a lot to do on him. We need to bring the highlights, I think, up another level, at least in a few spots. And then, of course, working on the weapon and stuff, and this stuff. We need to work on that a lot more. So, and the non-metallic gold up here for the stag. We need to work on that as well. So there's a long way to go left on this, but we're going to set that aside for now because I'm exhausted and tired of looking at it. And I am working on a new lieutenant in Mark 8 Space Marine armor, which is a Firstborn lieutenant and is the last version of Firstborn armor to be developed and deployed in very limited numbers outside of the Death Watch before the Primaris Marines came in, and they came in with their Mark 10 armor. Mark 9 armor does not exist. It was never existed. They pulled kind of like a Microsoft or an Apple and just went straight to 10. So lets you know that the marketing team in 40K is just as duplicitous and just as obsessed with psychology as our modern corporations are. Dream big, build small. How are you doing? Welcome. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so that works. That's all fitting together. And you see here, we're dry fitting here. I'm making sure that any gaps are pretty small. And if I need to shave anything or bend anything out of place, that I see where that needs to happen so I can do that before gluing anything. Yeah, that's fitting together pretty darn well. 6K likes. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you all for your likes. Thank you all for sticking around. I very much appreciate it. It definitely seems to get a lot more likes when I'm working on models that are a lot farther along in their progression than at the beginning, because frankly models at the very beginning just aren't all that impressive, right? But models that are farther along in their progression are getting, or at least appear to be getting close, even though our Votan model is nowhere close to being done, you get a lot more likes. It's a lot more impressive looking. So here I'm using some plastic glue to meld this together here, and then I'll use some more and the brush to smooth that joint out. All right, we're going to set that over here. You're well, thanks. Good. Glad to hear that. Oop. Okay, now one of the nice things about the Death Watch Veterans kit, which is the old Firstborn Death Watch kit, is that all of their power armor is Mark 8. It's all Mark 8. There's no non-Mark 8 armor in here. If you get the latest Death Watch kit, it is all Primaris Death Watch, and they've all got Mark 10. So this Death Watch Veterans kit is the only plastic, multi-part plastic Firstborn Marine kit for the Death Watch, which still makes it very, very valuable for this particular process. So I've chosen the Mark 8 legs that don't have anything on the shins, because the shins are harder to clean off, in my opinion. There is a skull on the knee, but I'm gonna leave that. That doesn't need to leave. I like that. We can keep that there. But what you'll see, what's unique about Mark 8 armor is it's got these hip pads, or these upper thigh extra reinforcing armor plates. That is unique to Mark 8 Space Marine armor before Mark 10. And then there aren't any, like all the other power cables are far less exposed than others marks of Space Marine armor. So those are two things that mark out legs as being Mark 8. So it's stuff we need to have on the model for it to be truly Mark 8. And this is just, I find this interesting. I think this is cool, but in all reality, it's silly. We're here talking about Mark 8 Space Marine armor. This is very serious. Here are the things to look out for to make sure you've got true Mark 8 armor and not some form of strange imitation that would just get you kicked out of Warhammer forever. You know, I'm not trying to do that. I've got a little project that I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to stay close to it. So, you know, if I ever sound too serious about this, just keep in mind it's silly. It's ultimately silly. It's not that serious. Warhammer is little plastic dollies that we run around on a table with a tape measure and dice and go pew 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 with our buddies. Hey Longbelly, how are you doing? I hope you are staying warm as well. I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest, so it is not cold here. All right, we've got our Mark 8 armor, leg armor, kind of cleaned up here. There's little shavings to do, little shavings to take care of. Look at that. It's true Mark 8 armor. Oh, it makes me happy. I just wish I could do the same thing for Mark 5. I'm so sad that I had to settle for a metal Mark 5 body and head. So they just didn't make a non-corrupted, non-chaos Mark 5 that I can find reliably. They might still make it in plastic for the Horus Heresy, but I suspect there's some technical challenges to making the mold, specifically these rivets that are on both shins. I think there's some limitations there for the mold making process that they weren't able to haven't been able to get that resolved. Okay, so we got that done. Now the other thing we need is that Mark 8 backpack and Mark 8 helmet. So the backpacks are all going to be the same. However, if you notice, they are slightly different. They've got these cowlings over the joints, the rotator joints on the vents. So we gotta watch out for that. Now I'm gonna use this one here, I think, because the Inquisition symbol down here at the bottom is going to be fairly easy to remove. And then there's just a skull up here, and that's fine. I don't need to That's not going to be... I don't need to remove that. I'm just looking for the backpack that's going to be the easiest to remove the Inquisition stuff off of. Okay, so this is narrow. I know I'm being quiet here. I'm just trying to concentrate and not mess this up. Hope everybody's doing well. If anybody's working on anything, feel free to share it in the chat or drop it in the Discord. I think some people have dropped a couple things in the Discord. We may go take a look at those. This Wednesday I'll be putting out a call, or on Tuesday I'll be putting out a call, and Wednesday I'll be putting out a call for works in progress and things that you wanna show off. And we'll take a look at all of that stuff and show off to the community what everybody else is working on Friday. So if you want to be part of that, keep an eye out. You can drop the stuff into the Discord now, into the works in progress or completed projects now, or you can keep working on it and then drop it in when there's a call out going on Tuesday or Wednesday. JK, we are working on a Mark 8 Lieutenant. So I am doing a Rainbow Warrior Lieutenant for every mark of Space Marine armor that was it's been a Space Marine. So we've got our Mark 2. The Thunder Warriors they may have had lieutenants, but they're not actual Space Marines. They're Thunder Warriors. So we've got our Mark 2 Space Marine. We've got our Mark 3 Space Marine, so he's still got to do him. We've got our Mark 4 Space Marine, he's almost done. We've got our Mark 5 Space Marine, so got to paint him too. Need to finish assembling our Mark 6 Space Marine. I just need to find what I did with the spiky space Mark 6 shoulder pads. And then we've got a Mark 7 Space Marine, so we need to base coat him and start working on him. And now we're working on Mark 8. And we have our Mark 10 Primaris Lieutenant. So we're working on a Lieutenant from every mark of armor, of Space Marine armor. And this Mark 8 armor is being made out of tactical Space Marine because one of them, the sergeant, has a Mark 8 chest. And then all the old Death Watch veteran models, the old firstborn models, they are all in Mark 8 armor. So we're taking bits and pieces of both of those kits and making a non-Death Watch-ified Mark 8 Lieutenant. Okay, so we've got this. We've got this Inquisition symbol that I'm going to very slowly, very carefully pare away. This is a brand new blade too, so it's very, I don't have to push very hard. Pushing hard is where mistakes come in and where injuries happen, when you're pushing too hard and using too much effort. So a brand new blade makes it much safer. And so that's about all I need to do as far as cutting. So now we just kind of scrape away what's left here. Now I am going to have to... I did remove the rivets. They were at the top. They were in the way. I had to scrape them off. So we'll decide whether or not we're going to replace those or if we're just going to leave it the way it is. I may replace them. Wouldn't be too difficult. Little micro bead and some drilling and some super glue. About all we need. Okay. Brush here. Let go. That's what I get for sticking the tip of my finger at the front. Nearly stabbed myself. I still have a cut on my finger from like 3 weeks ago during something like this. Yeah, that's why I was being very careful and very slow. But we're done. Now it's just scraping. Just scraping to smooth this out. And I need to decide if I'm going to remove this camera thing up top or not. I kind of like the way it looks, but I don't know if that's part of like actual Mark 8 armor. I would be fairly okay with just keeping it there. It's a little less work for me, and I think it looks cool and helps it look distinctive. Let's set those over here. Let's go back to our sprue here, and we've got... What's the plainest Mark 8 helmet? So this is the plainest Mark 8 helmet right here. There are other Mark 8s that have like an inquisitorial symbol on it. I don't want to use that. There are others that have like cybernetic eyes or targeting arrays there. I've already got... I don't really want to do that. I'm just going to go with the super basic one. The one that's just got a skull in the middle. If I can avoid doing scraping and removing details, I want to. And I don't really want to have a cybernetic there right now. I'm just using the back of the blade. I'm not using the sharp side of the blade. I'm using the back of the blade to scrape these mold lines off. There we go. Here's our Mark 8 Space Marine helmet. You can see that the tubes on the cheeks are different. That's one of the things that makes this marks this out as a Mark 8 armor. Mark 8 helmet. I also believe this is the Mark 8 is also narrower than the Mark 7. You can barely see the Mark 7, but it is narrower. So we've got our legs, we've got our backpack, we've got our chest for all this. Wonderful. Let's see. Now, as far as the weapons go, we have a Death Watch style Gladius here. I don't want to use that because it is specifically Death Watch. So we'll probably use a different power sword. And almost all the arms have this Death Watch symbol here, which I don't want to use any of those because that mark that out as a Death Watch part. So we're not going to be using any of those. I think the arms are going to have to come off of either the tactical set, or they'll come off the heresy set. But I'd like to see if we can pull them off of the tactical set here, because the arms are almost entirely interchangeable. There's almost no significant difference between the arms and between each mark of Space Marine armor. There's almost no difference. Okay, so we've got our arms here, and then the power sword is here. So we'll use that. And does he have a plasma pistol? He does have a plasma pistol, so we'll use the plasma pistol too. Because they've I think almost all of them have a plasma pistol. The only guy that doesn't have a plasma pistol is the Mark II Lieutenant, and he's drawing his sword. So he's got a bit different pose. So we'll make sure we'll take this one and this one, then we'll put this one away for now. Shoulder pads are going to come off this one as well, but we're going to hold on to that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I appreciate it. I know this is riveting stuff, but it makes me happy to have this relaxation and a straightforward issue to deal with. If anybody has any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I promise I won't yell much. Okay, one thing that's nice about this sword is it is angled forward on the wrist. So we can it's almost exactly like it's going to be almost exactly like this here, but I'll make sure it's in a slightly different pose, but basically the same pose. Or I can do it in the same pose. That's like that. This one. That's extended straight out. That one's bent a little bit. I want to do the one that's bent a little bit, and we'll have it facing a little bit more down. And then we'll have the pistol straight out, like he's getting ready to shoot. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that works for him. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Get all rid of those ugly mold lines. Paint can't cover those up very well. So don't leave them on your model. Unless you just don't care. In which case, you know, you do you. I do not want them on my model. So I will remove them as slowly and carefully as is safe. As safe as I can make it anyway. So nothing is perfectly safe, but doesn't mean you have to be crazy. Okay. Let's trim that off.
Welcome to the Great Library.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow, the Blue Bear TV. How are you doing? Welcome to the Great Library. Grab a chair, join the discussion, or just sit back, relax, lurk away, or grab yourself a book off the table, curl up next to the fire, whatever you choose. I'm glad you're here. Welcome on in. There we've got his power sword. I don't even know if I was on screen for that. I apologize if I wasn't. That's a thicker piece of plastic, so I want to be more careful. It's going to take more pressure, so we cut away and down. And now we scrape.
Welcome. Make yourself at home.
Hey, Blue Bear X, thank you so much for the follow. I'm pretty sure it's the same person. I hope you're doing well. I could be wrong. Okay. So let's mock up a couple of things here. So he's got this arm like this. So we could have this arm like this with the sword kind of out and off to the side. Fold that together. Have that like that. And then have this arm, which way is this arm pointing? This arm pointed off to the other direction, and firing the plasma pistol that way, and then we could have the head pointed this way instead, because almost everybody's looking off to their left. He could be looking off to his right. So that could add some variation in there. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll have him walking forward like this, and then looking a little off to the right with his plasma pistol up and his sword down, pointed down. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make these hard and fast decisions here. No hesitation. Forward we go. Yeah, look at that. Look at that Mark 8 Space Marine, ladies and gentlemen. Want this arm up a little bit more. Nice thing about using plastic glues is you can still repose for a little while. Ah, that looks cool. I think this looks cool anyway. Okay, then we can have the backpack on here. Yeah, I do want that backpack. I do want that sensor suite up on top, I think. But I want that sensor suite pointed in the same direction as his head. Like it's additional sensors. So we're gonna slice right down one of the joints. I'm gonna have to shorten this up a little bit because I didn't get it perfect. Then we'll come in here and we'll even this up as well. So now we'll attach the backpack, and then when that is settled, we will attach the sensor pointed in the same direction as his face is. Ooh. Okay. Ah! Come on. Stick on there. Same general direction as he's looking. Almost. Yeah, there we go. So now it's looking off center and it's looking in the same direction as he's looking, and oh, no, wait. I want the same direction as the gun because he's, yeah. He's going to be aiming down the gun, but I want like it's targeting assistance. I think it looks better when it's pointed the same direction as the gun. Almost there. Almost there. There we go. That. There. Ah, okay. He's basically almost completed. Oh, Longbelly, I am so sorry. Are you still here? I didn't see your second question, and I just kept missing it. I feel awful. Are you still here, Longbelly? I don't know if he's still here or not. Okay. Oh, if he's still here, then they'll hopefully get back to me. But this is a mixture of Horus Heresy and 40k. So, Mark 2 through Mark 6 are all Horus Heresy armors. The Mark 7 and Mark 8 that we just almost finished are 40k. And then, of course, there's the Mark 10, which is the Primaris, which is also 40k. Closer to 41st 41k. So not all Horus Heresy, but not all 40k either. It's spread out all over the place. But all of these can be seen within 40k. Some of the older models of armor are going to be more like relic pieces, chapter relics, things like that. But you know, they're representative of everything. They're all over there. Really, the only piece of armor that I'm aware of that just does not appear in 40k is Saturnine Terminator armor. That is apparently not show up in 40k like at all anymore. It's all gone. We just have the shoulder pads to do, and then the base, and then we've got our Mark 8 dude. I feel good about having a Mark 8. Makes me happy. That makes me very happy. Now, does Mark 8... Are Mark 8 shoulder pads any different? I hope not. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't see anything significantly different about the shoulder pads. I mean, there's some that have like the double armor shoulder pads that you can get in the old Command Squad, but rest of the art doesn't show anything particularly unique about it. About the shoulder pads, so we'll just use the regular tacticals.
A new member has applied for a library card.
Oh, wow! Blue Bear, thank you so much for your prime. We will get you your library card here in just a moment. Let me put these away. Alright, so for those of you who do not know, when you subscribe to the Great Library, which is my Twitch channel on Twitch, you get a library card. You get your very own library card with your own username and everything on it. So we're going to get that ready. Man, so sorry it took so long to get verified. You should check my, Captures when you're high sounds hysterical. Alright, Blue Bear. Here are the terms of your library card. The bearer of this card is granted permission to remove materials from the Great Library for a period of no longer than 30 days. A penalty of 1 sip of paint water will be assigned to the bearer for each piece of material that is outside of the Great Library every day beyond 30 days. The bearer assumes all responsibility for any material damage to, magical damage, or mishaps associated with, and possessions or exorcisms through checked out materials. Well, those are the terms of your library card. You can use it as you wish or not at all. It is up to you. It's a small print, my friend. It's nothing too soul. Okay, I will repeat it. The bearer of this card is granted permission to remove materials from the Great Library for a period of no longer than 30 days. So you can take some books or some artifacts you find here in the library for up to 30 days at a time. A penalty of 1 sip of paint water will be assigned to the bearer for each piece of materials outside of the Great Library every day beyond 30 days. So if you've got a book and an artifact out on day 31, you are assigned 2 sips of paint water as a penalty until you receive it, and that keeps going every day until you return it. Now, the bearer, that's you, assumes all responsibility for any material damage to, magical damage or mishaps associated with, and possessions or exorcisms through the materials you check out. Yes, you have... What is your question? What is your question, Blue Bear? I mean, yes, but it's acrylic paints. It's water-based acrylic, so there's not a whole lot of vapor. Not a lot of fumes. So, huffing the paint would be like huffing water. And I'm not trying to like really, really damage you or anything. But that's a good question. It's a good question. You will notice that with your library card, you now have your very own wizard's hat here in the chat. Yes, exactly. Natural 20 charisma, -3 intelligence. But you have your very own wizard's hat here in the chat. Enjoy that wizard's hat. Wear it with pride. And you also obviously have access to the emotes from the channel, including our book mimic. Oh, here is your first month stamp. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. If you can't see anything, don't worry about it. Only wizards can see this. It's a magical stamp. The more you hang out, the more you're around the library, it'll fade in. It's kind of like the food fight in the movie Hook. It's kind of like that, but like real. So, just if you don't see anything now, smile and nod. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful stamp, and it'll grow. It'll grow if you decide to keep supporting. If you don't, that's fine. It'll just stay the way it is, and you got it. Well, thank you. We try to have fun with it. Okay, so there's two things I want to do here. One, I am taking this Mark 6 shoulder pad for our Mark 6 lieutenant, so he's done. Even though it's not like the new Mark 6 shoulder pads, that's fine. It doesn't need to be. Here I want this shoulder pad for the lieutenant, for the Mark 8, because it looks a little bit more Frenchy. And then we'll use this one for the other shoulder pad on the Mark 8 Marine. Cool. Set that down over here. We're almost done for the night. Let's see if we can get this glued up here before we're out of time. We got a couple minutes. So, Blue Bear, what happened with the CAPTCHAs? I'll go check out your VOD, but what happened with the CAPTCHAs? Why were you doing CAPTCHAs while you were high? That sounds like a terrible idea. I mean, it sounds like an entertaining idea for people watching, but that sounds like a terrible idea otherwise. We go for about 3 hours, sometimes less, depending on my social battery. I do be an introvert, so my social battery drains, and then I'm just not. I stop talking, I stop interacting. I hermit. So I don't want to do that on stream. This takes up most of my emotional energy for the rest of the day. But I like it. I like teaching. I like showing, growth. I like interacting with new people. But it is all very tiring. Feel that? Yeah. So it's not that I don't want to hang out. It's just I won't be worth hanging out with if I don't end. I won't be worth hanging out with. There we go. It is the old style of Mark 6 armor, but that's okay. Of Mark 6 shoulder pads, so it's got that teardrop, but that's fine. That's fine. I just want him to be more or less done so I can prime him. There we go. We got our Mark 6 lieutenant. He's ready to be primed. And now we're gonna put our shoulder pads on our Mark 8 lieutenant. We'll do this on this shoulder pad here with the wing. And then we'll do the plain one over here for the where we can put the chapter symbol. I'd love to teach you some stuff. I can teach you some nerdy Brit stuff, my man. Even when you aren't 100%, I bet you're great to hang out with. You're very warm and easy to talk to. Just radiant, friendly, energy, king shit. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that. All right, here is our Mark 8 Lieutenant in plastic. Hooray! This makes me happy. This makes me very happy. Look at that. Thought it was going to be a lot harder to get to fully assemble a Mark 8 set of Space Marine armor. And once he's on his base and he's primed, and we did it. So that's kind of one of the goals for, I mean, I should set a date for when these guys need to be done, because we've got 3 out of the 8. We have 3 out of the 8 complete. These 3. Get him off his handle. 3 out of the 8 are complete. We've got our Mark II, our Mark IV, and our Mark 10. And then we have 2 that are got their blue. We've got 1 that's primed and needs the blue on him to start with. And then we've got this guy who we just need to wait for his shoulder pad to dry, and then we can prime in him and get him in blue. And then we've got our Mark 8. We need to put him on a base and then prime him and get him in blue as well. And then we can try and get these done. I'd like to have these done before Adepticon. Is this an Iron Man? Oh, no. It's not. This is not an Iron Man. It's not a stupid question. These are Space Marines from Warhammer. So these are made by Games Workshop. These are all Warhammer Space Marines. And can I show you the top 3 favorites? Yeah, just a second. I'm gonna have to go grab one of them. But this one, just because of the amount of time and the amount of work I've putting in, this is one of my favorites. Tyler, that's a great question. Where did you get all the different types of marks? That's a great question. So, Mark II is from the latest Horus Heresy plastic kits for Horus Heresy. So these are from Games Workshop. Mark III is also from Horus Heresy. Mark IV is also from Horus Heresy. Mark 10. This is, a regular Primaris Space Marine. So that's also from Games Workshop. Everything's Games Workshop right now. Now, they never made Mark V in plastic. So these arms are plastics from another Horus Heresy kit, and so is the backpack. But the body is from like the 90s when Games Workshop made a metal Mark V Space Marine body to put plastic arms on. So I bought that body off of eBay and attached arms. Now the Mark VII, this guy right here, this is just your normal Space Marine from before the Primaris Marines came out. So this is a normal tactical Marine. Oh, Mark VI, sorry, I mentioned Mark VI. This is mostly Horus Heresy plastic as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of these are from the Horus Heresy plastic kits. 1 is a Primaris. 1 is metal plastic hybrid from like the 90s and early 2000s. This is a regular tactical Space Marine. And then this is both a tactical Space Marine, and then the rest of them, it is both a from a Death Watch Veterans kit and a tactical Space Marine kit. So it's two different kits put together because there's no standalone Mark 8 armor anywhere that's modern plastic. There is a metal one, but it looks wonky because it's old. So that's where I've got all of these marks. So let me snooze here, snooze the ads. The Mark IV looks really good. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go get the one or two of my other favorites real quick for Blue Bear. And yeah, when I get back, Blue Bear, you can ask the question. It's a frog tier list? Oh boy. Alright. So I think my favorite... this has changed a couple of times, but my favorite is this ogre hero here. This is from the game Warhammer Quest Curse City. It's another Warhammer game, but it's a board game. I really enjoyed painting this, and I feel really good about the end result. Spent a lot of time on him, but I had a blast. So that's one of my favorites for certain. And then this. I haven't mounted her properly, but this is a miniature academic bust from Mindworks Studios, and I found a cosplayer online who was dressed up as a fawn, and kind of took inspiration for her look from that cosplayer, and I had a lot of fun. She was a bit of a challenge because getting kind of like the fawn freckles and the deer type of details in with the gold, and then with the shiny reflective hair and the contouring of the makeup for her face. It was a lot, but I'm very, very happy with her. Yeah. Another fantasy bust is her. She's a steampunk, military captain. She is a character within the game The Iron Kingdoms. But I painted her after. If you ever watched Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist brother, Armstrong's sister, I kind of painted her after Armstrong's sister a bit. Looks amazing, bro. You're very talented. Thank you. It's a lot of work. I am not an inherently artistic person, so this is all the results of lots and lots of study and work. I haven't taken classes. I've had people point me to really good books and watching lots of videos on portraiture and things like that. And then just wanting to be good at something creative. I've never been really good at something creative to my satisfaction. So this is what I decided I wanted to be good at because I like this. I've tried other forms of art, and for some reason, the most satisfying is painting tiny little people, and I don't understand why. Yeah, fantasy girls. Yeah, absolutely. Fantasy girls are pretty. There's some other fun ones in here that I like, but yeah. What's this question about a frog tier list? Obviously, Kermit the Frog is at the top. Like that's not a question. Then it's Battletoads, although toads aren't frogs. So I don't know if I could do Battletoads. I'm looking at your channel and you're not live. Wait. Oh, wait. Maybe you've got the other one. Let's see what's going on over there. Maybe you've got the other one. Okay, what's up? Okay, what's up?
Hey man, how's it going?
Not bad. How about you? Not bad. How about you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I'm happy you're here, so I can show you the world's greatest frog healing.
Oh no. Okay. Oh no. Okay.
Do you want to join a Discord call? Because I think there's a bit of echo going on. If not, totally fine.
I don't think I'm gonna have time. I've got 5 minutes before ads before I have to end my stream, so I don't think I'm gonna have time. I've got 5 minutes before ads before I have to end my stream, so
No problem. No problem. We'll take off. We'll continue. We'll continue. I will show you the crop healing. I'm just gonna bring it up, and I just need to get your opinion. Because it is perfect, and I promise you that. It is it's the perfect healer. Because it is perfect, and I promise you that. It is it's the perfect healer.
Kermit's up top, of course, of course. Kermit's up top, of course, of course.
Kermit is S tier. I mean,
Absolutely. Hypnotoad, Battletoads, cool. Mr. Toad from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and Hypnotoad, Battletoads, cool.
Yeah,
Mr.
you
Toad
called
from
that.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Wind in the Willows. Hypnotoad, Battletoads, cool.
Yeah,
Mr.
you
Toad
called
from
that.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Wind in the Willows.
Yeah, I mean that's British. Smart stuff. Oh fuck! What was that?
Something got knocked over.
Smart stuff. Oh fuck! What was that?
Something got knocked over. Is that Brennan Lee Mulligan under Not a Frog? That is true. Is that Brennan Lee Mulligan under Not a Frog? That is true.
Yeah, he's not a frog.
That is very true.
He's not a frog. I mean, it's true, isn't it? A lot of people are angry about Froggy Chair, but in my defense, Froggy Chair is not a frog. A lot of people
Yeah.
are angry about Froggy Chair.
It's more of a chair that's kind of froggy. Yeah, it's definitely more of a chair. Yeah. It's more of a chair that's kind of froggy. Yeah, I don't. It's definitely more of a chair. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. In a chair tier list, that is going triple S tier.
Yeah,
But
I don't think I disagree with any of these.
that is going triple S.
Obviously, the frogs are where they are, and then we've got
disagree with any of these.
Ed Big Head and Wart.
Frogs
Sure.
are where they are, and then we've got
Yeah.
disagree with any of these.
Ed Big Head and Wart.
Frogs
Sure.
are where they are, and then we've got
Yeah.
Ed Big Head and Wart. Sure.
I'm so glad you seem to have a massive understanding of what is happening, and I am so glad. Can you please give me my frog tier list out of 5 stars?
I'm gonna say it's a solid 5. I don't think there's anything that pushes it beyond that, but it's a solid 5. I don't
Ladies
think
and gentlemen.
there's anything that pushes it beyond that, but it's a solid 5.
Well, in my eyes, there's no beyond that. That's 100%. That's perfect. That's perfection in itself, and that is from the Youthless Wizard. That means so much. Thank you very much, good sir.
Absolutely, Blue Bear. Happy. All right. Thank you for asking me to check it out.
Awesome. We should hang out soon. Play some.
Thank you for
yes.
asking me to check it out.
Thank you for checking it out.
Absolutely.
Take care of yourself, man.
All right. Very cool. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I very much appreciate you spending your time here and watching me work on my Golden Demon piece, but then also taking a break and working on that Mark 8 Marine, which got put together a lot faster than I was expecting it to. So awesome. We will be back on Tuesday for more work on Golden Demon, maybe some work on, we've got one more Cyber Savage mini to paint, so we'll probably work on her. And in the meantime, stay warm for those of you in the part of the U.S. that's getting absolutely slammed by cold weather. Stay warm, stay safe, have a wonderful weekend. Take the time to do the thing that keeps you sane, whatever that may be, and remember until next time, that painting is good for the soul.